moving on from the front to the back, we're going to pre-trip the trailer. If you get the trailer part of the test, this is what you'll have to talk about. Again, if you just get the trailer, you'll have to talk about your glad hands, your electrical lines, but this time you'll have to talk about your bulkhead. Make sure it's properly mounted secure. It's not cracked, bent, or broken. You want to talk about your marker lights. Make sure they're properly mounted secure. They're not cracked, bent, or broken. On this particular truck, they're kind of small, but some of them have different size marker lights. We'll point them out as we go along. So now I'm going to make sure that I have at least 75% DOT tape all the way down the trailer. You can have 100%, but you have to have at least 75% DOT tape. Then I'm going to check the trailer in 10-foot sections. So every 10 foot, I'm going to check the trailer to make sure that it's not cracked, bent, or broken, and not missing any nuts or bolts all the way down. So I'm going to check the cross members and make sure they're not cracked, bent, or broken. Right here's your cross members. We'll check them all the way down to make sure they're not cracked, bent, or broken. Now, I'm going to go ahead and check my landing gear, make sure it's properly mounted secure, it's not cracked, bent, or broken. My handle is in the lock position, and my sand shoes are properly mounted secure, and they're not cracked, bent, or broken. Now, also, I want to come back up here and talk about the back of the truck. Back of the truck, the mud flaps are properly mounted secure. They're not cracked, bent, or broken. They're no more than 6 inches off the ground. They can be touching the ground, but they can't be up here. They have to be no more than 6 inches. I'm going to check my tail lights, make sure they're properly mounted secure, not cracked, bent, or broken, and they're working properly. I'm going to check my mud flap hanger, make sure it's properly mounted secure, it's not cracked, bent, or broken, working properly. So we're going to go ahead and move on in 10-foot sections. Always checking the cross members, make sure they're all not. Okay, so we're going to stop right here, and we want to check your marker light back up here, make sure the marker light's working properly, and it is. It's properly mounted secure. All the air lines and electrical lines coming all the way back. There's no bulges, abrasions, or cuts in the air lines. There's no audible signs of leak. The electrical line, they're not ripped, frayed, torn, or excessively worn. Okay, so after you check all that, you want to go ahead and check your spring hangers here. Spring hangers properly mounted secure. It's not cracked, bent, or broken. It's not missing any nuts or bolts. I'm going to go ahead and check my leaf spring right here. Make sure it's properly mounted secure. It's not cracked, bent, or broken. It's not missing any nuts or bolts. They're secure with a U-bolt. Make sure the U-bolt is properly mounted secure and it's not missing nuts on the bottom of it. All right. So now, just like up there, I'm going to check my air brake chamber. Make sure it's properly mounted secure. It's not cracked, bent, or broken, not missing any nuts or bolts. All the lines, air lines going to and from the air brake chamber have no bulges, abrasions, or cuts, and there's no audible signs of a leak. Again, we're going to check the brake drum inside the rim there. We're going to make sure that the brake drum is securely mounted. There's no excessive amount of grease on it, and it's not cracked, bent, or broken. There's no illegal welds. I'm going to go ahead and check my brake pads, make sure they are securely mounted, and there is no excessive, they're not excessively worn, and they have at least 1/4 inch of pad left on them. Okay, I'm going to look at my inner seal, make sure it's not cracked or broken or leaking on the inner part of the rim there. If any seat oil anywhere out here, that means you got a wheel seal leaking, so you want to make sure that's not leaking. All right, so I'm going to check my inner rim, make sure that it's properly mounted secure, it's not cracked or broken, there's no illegal welds or man-made holes on the rim part. Now I'm going to keep moving on. I'm going to check the inner bead, make sure it's properly seated to the bead of the rim. I'll go to the inside top and outside of the tire, inner tire, the inside top and outside tire, outer tire, and check for abrasions, bulges, or cuts. These tires must be no less than 2 30-seconds. They can be recapped, and they must not be mixed match tires or unevenly worn. I'm going to go ahead and check between the duals of the tires right here. And just like up in the other part, I'm going to make sure that there's no gapping in the duals and there's no rocks or bricks or anything stuck in there. So I'm going ahead and come on out here, check my outer tire, make sure there's no bulgings, abrasions, or cuts on it. The tire's properly seated to the bead of the rim. The rim itself is it's not missing any nuts or bolts, and it is no illegal welds or man-made holes. I do not see any rust streaks or oxidation or corrosion, which would indicate a loose nut. My valve stem is metal, and I'm going to check my tire pressure to make sure it's up between 95 and 105 psi. I'm going to check my sight glass right here, make sure I have hub oil in that, and it is properly filled the way it's supposed to be. So now let's move along, and I would do the same thing with every dual. All right, so now we'll move on back here. I'm going to check my mud flaps, make sure they're properly mounted secure, not cracked, bent, or broken. And again, they're no more than 6 inches off the ground. They're not ripped or torn up. I'm going to check all my marker lights again, make sure they're properly mounted secure. I'm going to check my DOT bumper, make sure it's properly mounted secure, and it has 100% DOT tape across the back, okay? I'm going to go ahead and check my marker lights. So make sure they're properly mounted secure. They're not cracked or broken. They're red in color and working properly. I'm going to check my license plate. Make sure it's properly mounted secure. It's not cracked or broken. It's not missing any nuts or bolts. It's clean and clear. You're able to read it. And like again, you got the DOT tape 100% across there and DOT tape across the bumper. Pretty much the condition of this whole truck from front to back is working properly with no problem. So that is a state of Illinois pre-trip for the outside of the truck. If you can learn that, I would say that you should be able to pass with ease. So thanks for watching.